Looked like I was a little off center there, trying a new setup tonight. Tonight, I'm going to talk about making decisions based on health as a priority. Most of you don't even know that I left Costco November the 2nd, and I started a new job November the 3rd. There were multiple reasons for leaving Costco. When a company is open from, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., you don't really expect to be going in at 2 in the morning or staying till 11 or 12 at night, but with Costco you do, and I happened to be living about an hour from the warehouse I was working at. And the job, the work, the manual labor was a little more than I bargained for. So I was happy to find a job closer to me. Unfortunately, I hurt my foot. Not necessarily from that job, but while I was working there. Well, in the period I was working there, it was actually right here, about where that camera is sitting. I was walking around the bed and pop, all of a sudden, I come to find out I strained or sprained a tendon on the top of my foot. Fortunately or unfortunately, I guess for the long haul, they had scheduled me for 11 days off. 2 weeks into the new job, why am I scheduled for 11 days off when I was told I would be full-time with benefits in 2 months, excuse me. Well, obviously that didn't work out because with the days off, I was no longer eligible for the fast-track benefits. So I gave up benefits at Costco, and I'm not eligible here for 6 to 9 months. Ooh, I can live without them. I mean, I'm basically healthy because I have made decisions over the last 9 years to improve my health. And I'm coming to you tonight with another decision I'm making to improve my health. Mainly because at my age, I'm not sure I should be being on my feet for 5, 6, 8 hours a day on a concrete floor, lifting semi-heavy things and trying to turn and put them on freezer shelves or stock shelves or whatever. And this company doesn't have the 12-hour break policy that Costco did. Costco would not allow you to be scheduled to come back within 12 hours of when you got off. I have 2 quick turns next week where I get off at 4 a.m. after working 6 hours, have 10 hours off, and need to be back at 2 p.m. to work 8 or 8.5 hours. I guess it's 7.5 or 8 because you have to take a half-hour lunch break. Well, at 60 years old and with plenty of money in the bank, I don't really need to be working. I wanted to be working, I guess is the main thing. And I probably got in that mindset, which is probably not the right mindset to be in, when the pandemic came and my photography business kind of disappeared because no events were occurring. And I went back to work with the police department, gave that up to spend some time with mom and dad and family on the East Coast. And I guess once I did the house sitting for 2 years, I thought, well, I'm spending more than I wasn't really making any money with that. So I thought, well, I probably should fill the coffers. And I have worked now 6 months, I guess, or thereabouts. I think I started July and it's now December. And most likely once I've wrapped this and it gets uploading, I am going to type up an email to the store manager, which I met one time in almost 2 months of working there. Well, I guess it's been 6 weeks at this point. And she said she'd work with me, if my foot was a problem, if the job was a problem, but I just think it's not the right fit, and as a mature adult, I can say I made a mistake by accepting this job. I'm not sure I wanted to stay at Costco either, but there are 2 or 3 other positions I've applied for, and a 4th one I got an email about today that I don't think I'm going to apply for right now because these other 3 are pretty, what I would consider kind of sweet jobs, in that I'll be doing security, sitting down, driving a golf cart or I guess they call it a cruiser, a sedan or whatever. I'm not sure of the details. One of them said maybe on a bicycle, but I talked to one of the officers that came in the store the other night, and he said, no, they ask you in the interview if you want to ride a bicycle, and if you say no, you don't have to. I said, well, I know how to ride a bicycle. It's just been quite a while, and I enjoyed it when I did it, but I don't want to be working on a bicycle. I was very good friends with many of the bicycle officers in Fort Worth when I worked as a civilian, and they're trained on how to use them, for defense and riot control and all that. I don't want to learn all that stuff. But anyway, looks like I'm going to be resigning again after only being here 2 months. Well, if I stay 2 weeks, it'll be 2 months. It'll be 2 months to the day. The dilemma I'm in is if it is bad for my health, do I want to give a 2 weeks notice, or do I just want to tell them, oh, I'm leaving this weekend, I'm leaving in 5 days, 10 days, whatever. So I've got to make that decision, and I'll let you know in the next video what I decide. But the only medical advice I'm still following from when I had the stroke, well, there's two. I'm taking a baby aspirin per day, and I'm still trying to get 8 hours of sleep per night. Well, when you only have 10 hours off, and it's a half hour, about half an hour by the time you get to the car and you get in, you clock in and all that, probably about 20-25 minutes of driving down to the store I'm at. So that takes an hour out. Then if you need a shower before you go to bed, a shower when you get up, or one or the other, and you want to eat anything, that doesn't give you 8 hours to go to sleep. And after being on your feet for 6 hours, you don't necessarily go to sleep right away anyway. And not sleeping is very detrimental for weight loss. Not sleeping is very detrimental for heart disease. Not sleeping is very detrimental for cardiovascular disease, I guess is what the technical definition is. Nothing wrong with the heart, it's just the plumbing that has a few clogs in it here and there. So anyway, I'm taking what I consider the best approach. When I talked to my dad the other night, he's like, do what's best for you. Because there was an option, and there still is an option, to move back to Texas, live in a friend who was a former tenant of mine, very helpful. In fact, I brought him in when I decided I shouldn't be mowing grass anymore, and gave him a reduced rent. He helped me with the yard work, trimming the trees, trimming the bushes. Very good worker. He even went over to my friend Sheila's house, rest in peace, dear friend, and did her yard once or twice before her passing. But anyway, he has bought an RV since I moved up here, and has offered multiple times that I could come live in it if I wanted it. I mean, it would have water and electric and all that. It would be basically next to his dwelling, which is also next to his mother's dwelling. So it might be a little bit crowded, but the main goal is to be healthy and to get YouTube off the ground. So hopefully that, and I've done very well on my Q4 Rapid Transformation Challenge. I am not exactly to my healthy weight yet, but I think I'm hovering around 204, 205, somewhere in that range, which is lower than I was when I had the stroke, much lower than I was when I started, and way lower than my highest ever. So in 4 years, I've kind of turned around my health, and now I'm going to turn around my wealth. All of these security jobs pay a little bit more to a lot more than I'm making now, and I don't have to be loading 30, 40-pound water softening tablets on a dolly and taking them out to the car wash, or loading, I don't know if it's 20, 30-pound bags of frozen hamburger patties, putting them up on a shelf in the freezer. Great big boxes of sub rolls and mozzarella sticks. And the kitchen at this place is what they're known for, but boy, I don't like being in the kitchen. So anyway, that's enough for now. All is well. I'll be fine no matter what I do. I think the law of attraction is working. If you haven't watched The Secret that Bob Proctor is featured, I was going to say furnished, featured in, you may want to watch that. Just look up Bob Proctor's Secret. It's all about the laws of attraction, which he says in some of the stuff I've studied from him that that's a secondary law, and I don't remember what the primary law is, but I think it's a law of gratitude maybe. Anyway, I'm very grateful you're here. I'm very grateful that I have choices. Everybody doesn't have the choice to say, I'm not going to work for another year. But I really think, and I have a house sit that I'm being interviewed for on the phone down near the beach, near Wilmington, maybe an hour from Wilmington, kind of between Wilmington and Myrtle Beach, but it is on the Atlantic Ocean. That would start right after Christmas, December 27th, and go through the New Year, which could interfere if some of these places up here want to interview me. I'm hoping they'll do that before Christmas, and I can just tell them I can start the 6th or 7th of January. But like I say, a regular job is not my top priority. Being healthy is. And I've even thought of just moving down to Wilmington and taking a year off and living off my savings. So that's not out of the question, but it looks like I'm going to try to stay probably in this room here with this couple that I'm living with, a loud 3-year-old son. He's quiet when I'm sleeping, but when he's awake, like, they're little squeaky voices. That's why I don't have kids, probably. Never really wanted any. But anyway, God bless them. They're helping me. I'm helping them. It's all working out well. And I'll go work for one of these 2 institutions, security. It'll be cold working overnight in the mountains in Virginia in the winter, but hey, that's why there's heaters in the cars and heaters in the building. I'll survive, and it'll all be good. I'm grateful for everything. Grateful Dad is close by. Grateful he's understanding. Grateful I got it set up to where I have my computer in front of me, so if I want to type out my notes for future videos, I can, and you don't have to watch me struggle trying to read my handwriting. Thanks. God bless. Love you. Bye-bye.